He was the owner of a 7,000 million empire, the strongest martial artist alive, a man who could bend steel with his bare hands. Yet tonight he stood in a stranger's kitchen washing utensils, cooking food, and accepting humiliation in silence, because the world was not ready to know who he really was. To everyone he looked like a beggar with torn clothes and wild hair, carrying nothing but an old wooden staff. And when a 3-ton luxury Mercedes came spinning out of Kanamamata and rode at 90 miles an hour straight toward him, he didn't run, he didn't flinch, he simply raised one hand. The metal screamed as the car crumpled like paper against an invisible wall and stopped dead while he didn't move an inch. Inside the wreck, bleeding and gasping for air, was Ishani Malhotra, the CEO of the billion-dollar Malhotra Group, staring through the cracked windshield at the man who had just stopped death with his bare palm. His name was Arjun, a man who had lived for over a hun. His bare palm, his name, his bare palm, his name. Dread years in the silence of the Himalayas, training under a forgotten yogi, learning to breathe with the wind and strike with the force of a mountain, the sole heir to an ancient inheritance vast enough to buy countries, sent back to live among ordinary people with one command: protect the broken. He ripped the car door off like a soda can and lifted Ishani out alive. When she asked why he saved her, he replied calmly that her time had not yet come. Later, in a small hospital room, Ishani Rutatnam come the truth that her own family was hunting her power, and that by tomorrow she would lose her position and inheritance unless she was married. She offered him a 1-year contract, marriage and money, but Arjun refused the payment and accepted the promise. The next morning he walked beside her into the Malhotra mansion, still dressed like a homeless man, where her stepmother laughed, her father called her a disgrace, and her half-brother Samir shoved money into Arjun's chest and told him to leave BBB before he was beaten to death. When Samir tried to shove him, the air turned cold. Arjun's eyes glowed with a golden light unseen for a century, and he warned him to be careful where he placed his hands. The chandelier cracked and shattered under the pressure of his presence as the family recoiled in terror, because they didn't realize they hadn't brought a beggar into their home, they had invited a god, and this was only the beginning. If you want to see Arjun destroy the Malhotra family in Rekal, Amishana's throne, then like, subscribe and comment part 2 to hear the full story.